Welcome back to another video, and today we will be going through the newest makeup releases and announcements. So welcome back, and today we will be going through some of the new makeup releases and announcements that have been made. And I think that I looked at my sort of Instagram folder from this week, and I thought that there was a decent amount of stuff and some interesting releases, but again, I don't think there's been like a tons of things that I'm like running out to buy. But anyway, let's get to the actual products, and you will be seeing images somewhere here, and let's start scrolling through. So first, a release that I knew was announced already when I was filming my previous makeup release video. As you have seen, I do these every other week. However, they hadn't yet shown the palette. So this is the Gourmande Girls steffsbeautystash collaboration palette, and the palette is called what was this? Nueva Vida. So this is quite of a colorful palette. I think this is already available if you want to buy it on the Gourmande Girl website. However, if you're European and thinking that you don't want to go through the hassle of ordering from US, I do believe this might be coming to the next Monolith launch, if I'm not mistaken. The color story itself, as I said, it is quite colorful. I think this is like maybe a bit too mismatchy for me, and there are like some cool, I think these would be called almost like these sort of acid colorful tones, but as a whole, this palette, I think it's just, even though I do like colorful eyeshadow, I do think that this isn't just my kind of style. But if you want to support Steph's, I do follow her channel. She is very good at putting out content, and she's like always reviewing the new stuff, so I would recommend like watching her channel. And if you want to support her, this palette is already available on the brand's website, and if you're European, then this will soon be available also in Monolith. I think Monolith has said that their next launch is gonna be on, it's now March, so April is the next one that they, I think, will be doing their launch. Next is another release that was kind of already, I think, had been sneak peeked, and I think this is one of those that might have actually like leaked. But anyway, this is the Makeup by Mario Master Matte Neutrals, and this. Oh god, this is so dull. I actually had to look at because I did remember that Makeup by Mario, he already had like an all matte neutral palette previously, and I actually had to go and look back at it. Wait, are these like a different thing? But no, they are different. I do think this is supposed to be like more of a cool toned version, but yeah, this, if you're looking for, because I have seen now a couple of reviews of this is already out on North America, and I also have seen this on European Sephora, so if you have a Sephora in your country, this should be already available. This just isn't my jam, but I do believe the quality of this should be good. I think all the reviews I've watched this has said the quality is good, but it's just a bit basic for me, and considering that this is like $50 US, and I think the euro price I have seen it's quite close, so not just worth my money. Then I think we'll go through some drugstore. So NYX this has been like seen in store but hasn't been like officially released. So there's been like a Buttergloss BLING version. However, I have only seen, you will see the image, I have only seen like this one photo of this very sparkly golden gloss. I have tried the NYX Buttergloss once, and I think it was quite an average drugstore gloss. We do have like, NYX is a brand that's very widely available also in my country, but I have always said that here in Europe, NYX is quite expensive for it is like in the same price range, I think, as L'Oreal or some of the other so it's not like very cheap drugstore, but it's actually like more in the midfield drugstore in terms of pricing. So for me, some of their products have been worth, and some of them haven't been worth the money, but I don't think there isn't very much information of this. So this is apparently, the shade name of this one is 25K Gold, but I'm not sure is this because the original Buttergloss has been just this more sort of it's more of it has this sort of milky sheen rather than having sparkles, but this new formula seems to have sparkles, and I could be interested to try this. However, I would hope there are more shades, because this sort of golden shade really doesn't suit my skin tone, but I still haven't seen like this being announced officially by NYX, because I think they recently had the same thing with the butter bronzers that they have now come out in the North America, that those were originally spotted by some consumers in Target and then they sort of had to really announce the product officially. But with this one I still haven't like seen any official announcement or a wider shade range. Let's see, what else do we have? Ooh, some luxury makeup. So Suqqu has announced their, what is this, pre-summer 2024 Blossom Beat collection. Suqqu is one of those higher end brands that's intriguing for me. However, I still haven't like gotten the inspiration to buy them because they are very, very expensive. The brand is available to me at Cult Beauty, and I'm just thinking that have I spotted this already on their website? But anyway, about the product, so there are 2 quads, there seems to be 2 eyeshadow sticks, and then there are the blushes. I think the quads are quite, how should I say, quite typical spring summer-esque from what sort of luxury brands. These actually, the color stories remind me quite a lot of, I think, the Dior spring collection colors, because this has some purples and then there's like more lavender purple quad and then there's more of a peachy quad. The blush products again are perhaps the most intriguing part, because they are sort of, have like there's like 2 sides in this blush pan, but not something I'm going to buy, but I do think that this is quite of an, I'd say, nice high-end spring summer collection if you're someone who's into this kind of makeup. So BPerfect has come out with another announcement. So I think the last time I talked about them was when they announced their new concealer, and now they have a new collaboration palette. So this is the Mrs. Glam Showstopper 2 palette, and I actually had to Google because I noticed immediately that it was the Showstopper 2, so I assumed that this was an collaborator, that they have done a palette before, and indeed yes, they have collaborated with the same person previously. This influencer, I wasn't familiar of who she was, but anyway. This is quite of an, how should I say, BPerfect I think is quite known for doing these very big palettes. They have had the Carnival palettes which have been very colorful, and I think with those they have already gotten like, already with a couple of last Carnival releases, they sort of got into critique that you can only do so much with a rainbow palette, especially if you're releasing them as big as BPerfect has been doing. So this is kind of a neutral palette, so bit different, but still this is very, very big. And there's actually, you have like 2 blush shades, and then there are actually 2 bronzer shades, and then there are the eyeshadows. The eyeshadow color story is, I'd say, quite like basic neutral with some pinks and peaches in it. And the blush shades, both of them do look quite bright, and also I would say that the bronzer shades are in the more like, more suited perhaps to like medium to tan skin, not perhaps for the fairest. Definitely both of these bronzer shades on my fair skin tone would be quite deep, and I do think that also in terms of very dark skin tones these then aren't like dark enough, but I do believe that for medium to tan skin tones these bronzer and blush shades will look quite nice. And I'm looking at the picture of the influencer they're doing this, she has more of a tan skin tone, so I can kind of, or not tan but a medium skin tone, so they are probably more suited for her, of course for her, because she's the one they're collaborating with. I actually recently discovered that there is a very small store in my country where I will be able to get BPerfect, and I did actually buy a couple of products, and they actually, I asked the store like the clerk they had there that how quickly do they get new releases, and she did say that they do update their like inventory quite regularly. And for example, she said that they would be getting quite soon the newest concealer. So I'd assume this could be actually something that I could, if I wait, see in store. But is this really a palette that I particularly need? Don't think so. I have enough neutrals and pinks in my collection. This is $35.95 in pounds. So I do think it is quite, BPerfect is quite a mid-range priced brand, and I do think that most of their products are quite actually, they are worth their price. Their eyeshadow palettes, at least the ones that I have tried from them, they are a bit more harder pressed. However, it's now some years that I have tried their formula, so it could be that their formula has become like smoother and it's not so hard hard pressed anymore, but can't really like tell because my eyeshadow experience with them haven't been recent. But the other products that I've been now trying out from them that I did buy recently, those I felt that were quite good. But when is this gonna be available? It's already out now on the BPerfect website, and this might trickle down to their sort of other retailers quite soon. Let's talk about NARS, and this was honestly again one of those collections that I had to go back and check that haven't they come out with this one before, but let's get to the products. So NARS has released Love collection, and this is their summer 2024 collection, and I would really like the summer to come. We recently had a first batch of snow coming, so the summer is a distant dream for me at this point, but hopefully the snow is not gonna stick too long. But anyway, let's get back to the products themselves. So in this collection there will be a Laguna Ultimate Face Palette, and this is the one where I went like that haven't they had something like this before, and yes, they have had. If you Google, you will be able to find that they have had this type of a face palette, not in this like identical shades, but in very similar shades. So they sort of have 3 face products, and then there are like 4 eyeshadows in the upper corner. Then there are some, I do believe those are those thick eyeshadows, and yeah, there's actually quite a lot of thick eyeshadows in this one. And then there's a quad powder. I think the pressed powder is just something that they have put in limited edition packaging. And then there is a blush, individual blush, and now I'm kind of looking at what kind of shade. Where is the power matte? No, I think those might be. There is the, yeah, so light reflecting blush in a peachy shade, however it doesn't say the shade name, so I would even say that with the blush check that is this when the blush shade, because when this comes to retailers the blush shade will be like probably visible, then check it out, is it something that they have also just repackaged. And then there's even a cushion foundation, so it is quite bronzy summery, but especially with the face palette, I do think this is like too similar to what they have come out before. So if you have the face palette, especially in this kind of format before, then most likely you don't need the new one because it looks very similar. Then something that did get some attention, so Huda Beauty has released a FauxFiller Shine Lip Glosses. And initially when I was looking at the promotional images of these, that oh god, is this going to be one of those stinging lip glosses? But apparently these are supposed to be more sort of glosses that sort of smooth over the lines over lips, because I looked at these are already available on Cult Beauty's website and on, I think, in other Huda Beauty retailers, and in the description I don't think I read anywhere that they warn that there's some stinging or anything, but it's more sort of the fact that the formula like smooths out your lips, so that's how they sort of make your lips look much fuller. The shades are quite like basic. I was like contemplating that if I will make a Cult Beauty order soon, that if I would throw one of these in my cart, but I don't think Cult Beauty actually had all the shades. I think a couple of them weren't available through them, but I'm not in a super need for a new gloss. My lip drawer is quite full as it is, but if you're interested in this one, this one is already available. And how much is this? Okay, it doesn't say the price in this in the description, but I believe this was in the between the 20 and 30 euro realm, which is usually how the price that higher end glosses go. Next is something that I actually spotted also in like our department stores. So Bobbi Brown released this sort of lip color, pretty powerful pot rouge. So I do believe this is supposed to be one of those multitasking products that you can use to both of your cheeks and lips. And I think the model here that's in the image, it might be that they have put it used it both ways. This was quite, when I saw this in store, it is quite, how should I say, very slippery feeling formula, so I would be a bit concerned that if you use this to your cheek, is this kind of product that dries down, because no one likes to have like your hair stick into your cheek because of your cheek products not drying down, and also the fact that there's like only one shade. So if you buy this, you really have to like this sort of, I think this is more of a cool toned rosy pink shade, so you really have to like this shade if you want to get this one. But as I said, this is already like, I think, available in like almost all the Bobbi Brown retailers. Then let's get to some indie palettes. So this was actually another of those releases that it was just announced when I was, I think, editing my like previous makeup news video. So this is the Nomad Cosmetics Verdant Wild Beauty, and I believe because they do their palettes like from destinations, this was like Ireland themed, and it is very, I'd say this is quite on par with the theme because there's a lot of greens, but because Ireland is basically, it's an like it's island, it's surrounded by sea, so there are also some blues, and I do actually like it that they didn't just go the green gold route, which would have been like very typical if you do a palette that's themed around Ireland, but they did actually put a bit more like, there are some muted tones in this one, and the inclusion of blue tones is actually quite smart, so I do think that it brings actually quite a lot of versatility because the Nomad palettes are usually quite big, so having it filling out with only with green shades, I do think it would have made the palette kind of one tone, but this is already available on Nomad's website, and how much this is priced? $49. I really hope that they would like start stocking on my shop because Nomad Cosmetics is one of those brands that I would be interested to try, but I just don't want to go the hassle and paying the extra import cost fees of like ordering them from state. But and I do believe that this would be probably a brand that would do quite well on Monolith. But as I said, if you want this, you can get it now from their own website. Next, let's go to some e.l.f. So e.l.f. has done, this I think is a shade extension, so they have extended their primer infused matte blushes and bronzers. So I'm looking at the new shades, and from the bronzers I think these might be just like filling in gaps that they had in terms of like undertones. The blush shades, I think there are two like more berry toned ones, and then there are two like more peachy ones. I don't think in terms of the blush shades, like there isn't like anything very revolutionary, so this could have been like, again, that they're just also with the blushes filling in the gaps of shades that they didn't have. But these are already like, these are $7 each. I haven't yet seen, because Beauty Bay is I think the best place for me if I would like to buy e.l.f. I don't think the last week I saw that these were yet available there, but if you live in Europe, the shade extensions most likely will come to Beauty Bay at some point, and these are already available on e.l.f.'s own website. Then something that did almost have me falling from my chair. So Surratt, which I know is a very luxurious high-end brand, so before any of you go complaining, I know Surratt is a very expensive brand, but they have released two new quads, and I was like, okay, quads, this is what luxury brands do. But these are $102 each, and I was like, that $102, like that's... the quads are like, when I looked at these are like very, like, okay, one of them is a blue, like there's blue and silver, so it's kind of like special for luxury brand, but especially the other one, which was basically a warm tone neutral one, I was like that, even no matter how smooth the formula would be, like please don't pay $102 US for these, because these is just like, there are like so many good, even luxury brand formulas you can get with less of money. I'm just like saying the $102 US from these like quads. Look for other luxury brands, and you might even get like more shades, and the formula might actually, like, I haven't ever tried Surratt formula, so of course this could be the best thing on planet Earth, and if you really want to buy these and you have the income to spend on these, then of course you're free to do what you want with your own money. But for me, like with $102 US, there's quite a lot of other good makeup that I will be able to buy. So this is like definitely an absolute no and skip for me. Then something that I was a bit, I'm not gonna say surprised, but bit, how should I say? Okay, I'm gonna use the word surprised because I do think that both Essence and Catrice have been actually like coming out with quite a lot lately. I think they're now becoming the new Colourpop, because Colourpop isn't releasing as much as they used to, but now I feel that Essence and Catrice are really like releasing a lot. So Essence and Catrice are sort of their sister brands, and they occasionally do this, they have a collaboration theme that matches. So this is Joker and Harley Quinn, so you will see from the images the sort of Joker side of products are made by Catrice and the Harley Quinn side is made by Essence. And we've barely had the Essence. I will be talking about this probably in a video a couple of weeks. I finally managed to find the last of the Essence Spring Edit products, which has been like an odyssey finding all the products and checking out stores, but I finally managed to find the last piece of Essence Spring Edit products that I wanted to get into sort of my collection from this year launch. And even though they still haven't got the Spring Edit products, which are kind of like their mainline products, they have already come out, like Essence has come out with, there was the sort of an, there was the vanilla themed limited edition collection, and now they had the sort of mermaid theme limited edition collection. Now they're coming out with Harley Quinn themed limited edition collection. And quite same with Catrice, because well, Catrice, they were able to stock their like spring edit release products quite quickly, and I didn't have to go like hopping hoops and everything to find them. But also with Catrice, they had the sort of, there were the Valentine's Day stuff that almost came out in the same time that the spring edit stuff launched, at least in my country. And then they already like had, just after that, they had the sort of jewel toned limited edition launch, and now they're having the like Joker launch. So this is what I mean by saying that there's just, there's a lot, and there's also quite a lot of these collections. I'm gonna be honest and say that I'm more interested in the Harley Quinn side. I would really like to try Essence eyeshadows at least once, just for the experience. My expectations aren't very high. I don't think I've ever seen a review raving about Essence eyeshadow quality, but I would like to try it. And there are I do like that they are sort of expanding on their sort of highlighters, that these highlighters are Meta Glow highlighters are basically that they brought the first version of these in their sort of spring edit launch, and now they're sort of expanding those with the limited edition launch, and they have this sort of own version of this sort of clicky pen glosses, and there are also lip glosses that look quite similar to Meta Glow lip glosses they had in their sort of spring edit launch. And there seems to be, there's mascaras and there are some makeup brushes and eye patches. I think if I would get an eyeshadow palette, it would probably be the pink one. Sorry, I know this is a very boring answer, but I think that would be like the safest place to start, because the other one has quite a lot of blues and these very bright reds that we know that are usually quite hard to formulate. So knowing Essence's like eyeshadow quality track record, I would start with the pink palette, pink neutral palette. From the Joker side, I'm just gonna say that I'm not a fan of this character. I do know, like, I kinda do know the DC universe, but Joker is my favorite, and none of these products, because this has this sort of purple greenish packaging, it's just not appealing to me. Now I'm trying to see that where is this available. So is this going to be something that's going to be actually available in the US first? That would be something different, because they usually released in... this isn't available yet in Europe. I haven't seen this in any European retailer. Not in, usually these first come to the German retailers, because both of these are German brands, but I still haven't seen them. So I think these could either be that these will first launch in States, or that these are now being sneak peeked and these will be available soon. But yeah, there is quite a lot in this one. So Charlotte Tilbury has two new launches. Actually, this one launch there was sort of a shade extension, or not shaded, but a collection extension. But I will just go through the one product that really caught my eye, and then there's another new product from her. So the new product is Pillow Talk Big Plump Cotton, and I do believe that this is supposed to be, unlike her previous lip glosses, this is again meant to be one of those plumping lip glosses. The packaging is quite an extra, if that's the term you like to use. It is a bit getting on the edge that is this like maybe too kid makeup packaging, but yeah, so this is supposed to be an ultra comfortable oil infused gloss with powerful fire and ice actors. Oh god, fire and ice actors. So this is probably gonna be those glosses that hurt your lips. So buyer beware. And this is going to be $35 US or so. That's gonna be like, yeah, I think it's gonna be 32 in euros if it's 35 in US dollars. That's usually how her prices convert to. This is going to be available on Charlotte Tilbury's website on April the 4th, so this is in the beginning of next month. I do also know, I saw an image that there are some other extensions that she did to the Pillow Talk line, but I just thought that this was the most interesting one, so that's why I brought it up. Another new release, this is supposed to be a Beautiful Skin Island Glow Easy Tanning Drop Self Tanner, so she's expanding her skincare department. This is not something I'm interested in, because obviously I'm pale as an egg, so not something I'm interested in. But again, when is this going to be In this one it doesn't say when this is going to be available, it's just that coming soon, but yeah, those were the sort of Charlotte Tilbury products of this section. Okay, so Profusion has launched their sort of, this is their spring collection. Profusion is something that is available in my country, however, I haven't yet seen that we would have gotten any of the limited edition stuff, we just have the sort of basic line, so I'm not sure is this gonna be, like how widely this is gonna be available. But this will include a 35 shade palette, then there's Wild Rose and Pretty Poppy Lip and Cheek blushes, it's gonna probably the compacts in the image, and then there is Secret Garden Nourishing Lip Oil Set and Petal and Flower Child Loose Shimmer Highlighters. Ooh, Loose Shimmer Highlighters, yeah, I think that's gonna be a skip. And then we have the Blossom Beauty Sponge Set and Garden Glamour for Foaming Lashes. I think this is like quite pretty. I did mention in my previous, like recent video where I reviewed 5 palettes and there was one Profusion palette, that I do think that if Profusion is like the sort of easy thing accessible to you in your drugstore, then the eyeshadow quality is quite decent. I do think that there is maybe a bit of repetition in the eyeshadow palettes. There are quite a lot of neutral shades that look the same, but I do think that for someone who, especially a teenager, that if you want a little bit of neutrals and a little bit of color, then I think this could be a like good affordable option. The sort of Wild Rose and Pretty Poppy Lip and Cheek cream blushes, those actually do look kinda cute, and those could actually be something that I would be interested to buy, but again, I don't know is this something that's gonna be available to our Profusion retailers. The loose shimmer highlighters are definitely a no for me. I have once tried a loose shimmer highlighter and that's just, that was messy. The faux lashes, I don't wear them, and I'm not in a need for three different lip oils, but these I think will be, are these already available on their website? Doesn't say, but I do believe that at least in States you should be able to get this quite easily. Then Glamlite has announced their Kiss collection, so this is already something I think they sneak peeked at the end of last year, and we were already all quite like telling that Glamlite, please, you should slow down, but no, they are not slowing down. So they recently, I think the most recent release was the Betty Boop collection, and now they have another one. So I am quite actually happy to see that, because with Kiss, because they have had a lot of these IP collabs that have been having black, white and red themes, so I am actually quite happy that there is actually something else in this one. However, for me this is a very, I mainly like focusing on the palette. The palette is too like deep toned for me. Like I do like colorful shades, but this goes quite deep. But I do think that if you're someone who likes these more grungy or colorful tones, then this could be a good option. I think I'm trying to look what else is there in the collection. I do believe I saw that there might have been a lip product and makeup bag at least included, but for me this palette is a skip. But if you like your dark jewel tone, then this could be a good option. I do think Glamlite is quite reasonably priced. Then Alter Ego, which is a brand for, I think, known for doing dupes, they have released a new palette. So this is Gaze into Dreams, and this is a pastel palette, and I just thought that this was a random, like, not random, but a pastel palette that they just like released as a standalone, but this is actually duping the Natasha Denona pastel palette, which I initially didn't like figure out because they do have a habit of rearranging the shades. This is a brand again that's not available to, like, easily available to me. I would have to order this from US, and I think that because the idea of Alter Ego is that it's a more cheaper alternative, well, if you have to import it from US to Europe, then even the cheapest things will become become quite expensive. I saw a couple of reviews of this one, but I think there was quite a lot like, how should I say, people weren't actually, like with some of the pastel shades it seems that this people weren't like that happy, so maybe before buying this and thinking that is this like even like, if you're looking for a good drugstore pastel palette, then maybe watch a couple of video reviews to see is this really the one you want to buy, because so far I think the reviews I saw of this were quite mixed. Then, oh Jesus, I forgot this. So now you understand why I say that Catrice and Essence have been coming out with a lot. So this is another like special limited edition release from Catrice, and I think this was spotted in some German locations. So this is the Catrice Seeking Flowers, and we have some very bright looking lip oils, there are some blush sticks, there's a lip mask, there are 2 very bright highlighters, and then this sort of an, I think that the flower compact is an eyeshadow. Nothing that, sorry, it's actually, those are the bright looking lip products are lip stains, okay. So yeah, I did go and look for this. The lip mask actually looks kind of nice. I don't know it's the lip mask because I do think that Laneige, which I think is a popular brand, I think they might have a lip mask that sort of has the similar ombre effect to it, but other than that I don't think there are like straight out dupes in these products. The cheek colors are looking kind of like summer themed and pretty bright, so if you are looking for bright summer themed stick blushes and these are available to you, then maybe check these out. The highlighters, at least the very bright yellow golden highlighter, that would not suit my skin tone. The more like golden peachy one, I think this I would have to see in store and actually see that how much of a base does it have, because if it has a very strong base then it's not suited for my skin tone, but if it has a more sheer base then it could be suitable. The flower compact, so that, or the flower sort of eyeshadow, I'm not interested in that one, and with that I would be actually very afraid that the shadows will just get mixed in together because they're all in one pan. No idea when this is gonna be available. I think this was just something that was like spotted quite randomly, and so, but I assume that because a lot of these posts are made by German Instagrammers, so I assume this will be first available in Germany. So some more luxury brands, or high-end brands. RMS Beauty has now released ReDimension Hydra Bronzer, and I do believe that sort of very glowy blushes are a thing that is very popular from this brand, and now they have come out with the bronzer in the same formula, and the compact of these is very pretty. That is actually something I've also looked in with their blushes. Like the blush compact and the way they sort of engraved in the pan is like very pretty, but I think because this is like meant to be like similar formula to their blushes, and while I don't mind a glowy blush, I'm not a fan of a glowy bronzer, so for me this is a skip. And let's see, they have 4 shades. I think for a higher end brand and quite of an like mainstream higher end brand, 4 shades, it is kind of an, I think they could do better, because I think 4 shades from a big brand, that's actually like not very inclusive, so yeah, something I think they should definitely like maybe expand on, because 4 shades is very little, and also the undertones, like undertones of these look a bit strange, honestly, yeah. So not something I'm running out to buy, but if you're a fan of a glowy bronzer and you like to spend more money to it, then this could be a good option. Then let's get to actually something that I was quite excited about. So Maybelline has come out with a new mascara, and there was one Maybelline mascara that made it to my sort of favorite list from last year, and this new one is called Sensational Fireworks Mascara. This is going to be $14 US. This is going to be a bit more expensive when this gets to Europe, but in States it's going to be $14 US. So Super Spark brush grabs lashes, shooting them up and out. Different length flexes, bristles, arranges in a spiral firework pattern, giving 360-degree lash impact. Yeah, there's quite a lot of claims in here. So it does have a plastic bristles, which I'm not a fan of in mascaras. However, unlike the L'Oreal Panorama mascara, which I have been trying out recently, and I do like that one. However, these don't look as spiky perhaps as the L'Oreal one that I have made a complaint about that one. The promo images of this, well, these always look nice, so with sort of mascara adverts you should always be like a bit careful when you look at them because they of course try to display the product at its best light. But yeah, this could be actually, because I did like the previous Maybelline mascara that I have tried from them, this could actually be something that I could be interested to try once it comes out in my country. Then let's go to something a bit more, I'm not gonna say dull, because this isn't, I don't think for the brand this is dull, but anyway, Wonder Beauty has released a new palette, so this is called the Trailblazer eyeshadow palette. I have tried a mascara from Wonder Beauty, I think it was the Mile High or Glub or some other weird name that it had. I got the mascara in an advent calendar a couple of years ago and I did like, I think it was a decent mascara. The eyeshadow palette, trying to see that this is available on their own website, and I do think that Wonder Beauty is a brand that's available on on Cult Beauty, and it is like not the most, like it's a bit more expensive, but it's like not the most expensive brand amongst the brands from Cult Beauty's selection. I think like for an like Wonder Beauty's, I think their makeup aesthetic is very much of this more like neutral kind of girl makeup, but I do actually like that there's like a couple of pops of green in this, and then there's actually some like a pinkish and reddish shades, so it's not like an all basic just neutral palette, but there is actually something, a bit of a twist on this. So yeah, I think for springtime this is like nice. Not something I'm gonna buy, but this is like something if you're looking for a nice pretty eyeshadow palette, I do think that this looks quite okay. We are having more Lisa Eldridge launches, so I think on my previous video there was the mascara and eyeliner, and now we have a new sort of a base product. So there, I believe she is releasing on 19th of March, so actually in a couple of days when I'm filming this, and I think this is going to be a skin tint. I only have like a few promo images of this, and then there's like a sneak peek of the packaging, but I do believe like what I have seen from like different sources that this is a skin tint, which I do think is smart, because I think the foundation she had she like has in her line, that is quite fun. I'd say like a more medium coverage foundation, so I think this is going to be a bit more like lighter coverage product. But so far I don't have like any more information than just the launch date, and you will be able to buy this on her website when it launches. Then let's go next to another brand that I don't think we have heard from a while. So the Balm is releasing Quiet on Set setting powder, and I'm still surprised that this brand is going, because I do know that makeup YouTube before pandemic, so in 2016 and 17, I know that the Balm was quite a popular brand. They had the Mary Luminizer highlighter, and there were a couple of other products that were, there was the bronzer I think also that was quite popular with them. But the brand is still very much alive, and they are now coming out with a new setting powder. So this is, I'm just trying to see that is this like a pressed, yeah, it's a pressed powder. It's $20 and it is available in the US. Like I think $20 from pressed powder, like it is getting like being bit, it's already in the mid-range category. Yeah, but I really like comment down of course below that if you have bought from this brand, that how is their product quality these days. But I just do remember that at some point they were like very hyped, and then the sort of like they just didn't, I don't think they were able to like stick up with the trends of the makeup market, and then there of course was the pandemic that I think affected quite many brands, but with the Balm I certainly am a bit still surprised that they are in business, but that's of course good that they are still, because that means that there are people who are employed by them, and there is still a consumer base that likes their product. Then let's get to some Colourpop. So I'm actually gonna speak firstly about the sneak peek. So apparently Colourpop is coming out with the collaboration with Pokemon. However, at the moment of filming this, they haven't actually like released anything concrete about the collection. When I'm gonna see the products, and if they are very good, like it's gonna be very tempted if this will be like the only occasion in like many years that I will order something from States, because Pokemon has such a nostalgia for me. Like it was the first anime that I think I ever watched. I was in elementary school when they began to show the show in my country, and it was one of the first bigger anime shows that was like displayed in our like bigger TV channels. And yeah, if there's a Jigglypuff themed eyeshadow palette, then I think it's gonna be we're gonna be making some very hard purchasing decisions. But anyway, let's actually get to the product that we have an image from. So this is the So Elemental palette, and this is kind of blue-gray themed 9-pan. This is $14 US, which I do think it's the price that they now sell the 9-pans from. And this has blissful blues and serene sparkling silvers in matte metallics and pearlescent glitter. Ooh, there's a glitter in here. I thought Colourpop was getting rid of the glitters. Like, could we please, like all eyeshadow brands, like do like sparkly shades, but don't put pressed glitters into our eyeshadow, please. That's just it's a no-go. So this is going to be available on March 21st on their website. So again, that's going to be next week from when I'm filming this. And yeah, so I think it's a nice cool toned blue-grayish palette, but again, not excited the fact that they included the pressed glitter in this one. Now I think there are a couple of more things, then we're finished. So Clarity Cosmetics has released a new palette, and this is again a brand that I can buy from Monolith Shop, and Monolith Shop has actually been getting their like newest launches, so I do believe that this is also coming to them. So this is called the Euphoria palette, and this is very, well, all the Clarity palettes are quite bright, but this is again very bright. So this is sort of pink, blue, and then there's a bit of like a minty green, teal green in this one. I think actually from the color stories, because I do have found that some of their color stories have been a bit like mismatchy, so I haven't like, there hasn't been a color story that has appealed to me, but this is actually like we're now getting a bit closer to something that appeals to me, because I do actually think that there is like there has been some effort put into this, because I do think that you can like the pinks do go quite well with the sort of, there's a dark match, dark like darker reddish shades in this one, but then you can go with the blue and teal side. So there is a couple of things, and for example, I do like combining pinks with blues is for example something that I do like to do. But yeah, this is $48 and this is available on the Clarity Cosmetics website, and I do believe this will be also available on Monolith Shop when they do their next launch. Alright, and let's get to now to the weekly Tarte section of the week before I think we will leave like the best thing that was announced last. So Tarte has announced some new complexion products. So first there is the Shape Tape Glow Blush Bar, and this is actually quite similar in the format that they released the sort of cheek palettes they had last year, but I think those had like some powders and then there was some bronzer shade in them. They have two variations, so there is one for like, I think for light to fair, and then there's one for medium to, well, it's a bit debatable how deep the other one goes, but it's at least medium to tan. And these are $49 each, and I do think that all of these are a bit more like glowier blushes. Now I'm actually trying to see that is because the fair one has a highlighter shade, but now I'm trying to see that is the other one supposed to be a bronzer or Baked Blush Trio for instant cheek lift effect. But what is the... I'm not sure, is this like the shade in the more like deeper version, is it supposed to be a bronzer or is it supposed to be like a very... like a sort of very skin-esque like highlighter, but these are available already on, I think, Tarte's website at least. Then the second Tarte product that I did spot just before filming this one, so this is the Tarte Park Avenue 8 Princess Cream and Blush Bronze Duo. So the Park Avenue bronzer, which I have in one oven like a mini product and also in one oven blush palette, so I think that's their classic bronzer shade, but these are cream palettes, so the Park 8 bronzer is of course the original one, is a powder bronzer. I think these duos look quite nice. These are $39.98 each, and I'm just seeing that is the brush something that's also... This is available now on QVC, which I do know that QVC is in the US a channel that's also, they do quite a lot of Tarte-like promotion, and Tarte does exclusive products for them. So it must be a sales channel that works for the brand quite well. I mean, the shades, I do think that they have actually managed to do a good gradient. There's like the fair one looks that it's gonna work for the fair skin tones, and the really deep one that's in the like other corner looks like it will like go to also very deep ones, and then we have one for like light to, and then one to like more tan skin tone. So yeah, I think actually this one in terms of like the shade range and the shade selection, it is quite nice. And again, this is available through QVC if you're in US, and this might come to other Tarte retailers later. And then for the last product of the week, and this was the most, I think, interesting thing that at least I spotted. So Adept Cosmetics, they did tease this already like few weeks, like already maybe a month ago if I'm not like mistaken, and I was actually quite surprised because the first when they sort of showed the packaging, it looked like quite of a pastel like packaging, and I was thinking that, okay, but I do remember last summer they did the sort of seahorse themed pastel shimmer palette, so I was thinking that, well, is this going to be too similar to it, but actually this this was very surprising. So I think this has more sort of like deeper jewel tone shimmers. So this is called the Cyborg Choir. So this is more like, I think, futuristic themed of a palette, and this has, I think, quite of an, like, there's a mix of like blues and purples and pinks, and then there's like a pop of 2 yellows and one this sort of turquoisey green one. This will probably become available on Monolith Shop. I don't know will this make it, because this, I think this is going to be, this is already like available on Adept's own website, but it can take some time for Monolith to get their stock. So I don't know if this is going to be a palette that will make it to the March Monolith launch, or is this going to be something that will be, or sorry, March-April, because April is apparently when they're doing the next launch. So it is going to be going to the April launch, or will it be available later? But if you want to buy this, it is available on Adept's own website, and it's $79 US, so it's probably going to be somewhere in the €8 mark that these were big palettes have gone in sort of Monolith's website. I'll have to see, because I think the 2 yellows are a thing that are throwing me off. So if you know me, you do know that these sort of bright, I like to call this the Easter egg chick yellow is what I like to call this color. This isn't like the primary color. There's like a few times a year that I do like to use this, but on a more regular basis. But I do think the packaging, for example, of this is very pretty. I do like the ombre of it, and there are like quite many shades that I would like, but then there are also quite many, especially the blue shade, where I'm like thinking that, yeah, but am I gonna wear that? So this one we're putting it to the like, I will think about it and get back to it once I know that when it's gonna be more easily available to me, and then what other products I want to buy. So those were the product releases. I'd say that nothing again that I will be going out to run and buy. A few things that I might be considering, but again, it's good for my wallet, more money to other purposes. But I would love to hear what have been sort of new makeup announcements that you have been waiting. Something that I will point out, if this has been announced when I edit this, then I will pop in the image to the side, but I am aware that Lunar Beauty, so Manny MUA's brand, is releasing something new. I saw the sneak peek of the palette's cover this morning on my Instagram feed. However, I have no idea how this looks from inside, but if the palette has been announced when I edit this, you will see the picture somewhere here, and we will talk more about it in the couple of weeks when I will film my next video. But comment down, of course, below what have been the new makeup announcement you have been excited about or are planning to buy. If you want to see more content from me, then please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell button for future notifications, and of course push the like button of this video. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog, on Instagram. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are, and I hope I will be seeing you again soon. Bye bye!